I was a Tannehill apologist, and essentially everything we saw last year was everything that I thought he could be in the right environment. But the question is that sustainable? Can he replicate the 70% completion rate? 9.6 yards an attempt, absurd. The touchdown percentage is 7.7. I guess we're all expecting regression, but when I went and did the projections, understanding the team and the roster and their approach and everything they did last year, yeah, I built in regression, but it was still hard for Tannehill to not finish up high because he'll run a little bit. Your thoughts on Tannehill? He gets that 4-year deal coming off a dream season. How much of a drop off would you expect?
Sure. So the thing with regression is it can come in a couple different ways. And for Tannehill's case, I think it's going to be an efficiency. Look, Arthur Smith, their offensive coordinator, drew up like a perfect offense for Tennessee last year. They were very, very heavy on play action. They obviously, everything kind of started with the run game. That was their foundation, and they kind of built off of that. And Arthur Smith just drew up just some unbelievable play action plays, especially in the playoffs last year. I mean, this Titans offense was really humming, and I think they might even get better this year with A.J. Brown coming off, a fantastic rookie season, another year under his belt to get better. But efficiency-wise, there's literally zero way Tannehill is going to repeat what he did last year. I mean, he was third among all quarterbacks in completion rate. He was second behind only Lamar Jackson in touchdown rate, and he was first in yards per pass attempt. I mean, he nearly had 10 yards per pass attempt. I think, Tannehill really turned his career around, obviously, with the Titans. It's a great fit with Smith, but he got really lucky last year, too. I mean, he only started 10 games in the regular season, very small sample size. And I think the NFL community and the analytics community doesn't do a good enough job explaining randomness and explaining just how lucky sometimes guys can get in a small sample. Perfect example of this is Tannehill last year. He was last among all quarterbacks in expected points lost on drop passes by far. If you look at some of the top guys in the league in expected points lost on drop passes, that's when receiver drops the ball and the offense is losing expected actual scoring points on those drops. Jimmy Garoppolo, Carson Wentz, Josh Allen, all of those guys were at the top of the league in expected points. Tannehill was at the very bottom. I just don't know if that's necessarily repeatable. I mean, we have a bunch of things at play. Like Tannehill didn't have any drop passes. His completion rate was really, really high and will definitely come down. But John, like you mentioned it, I think after the 10th or 11th quarterback comes off the board this year, there's a significant teardrop. And I still think Tannehill is at the top of the high-end QB2 tier. But we just have to understand that there is going to be some efficiency regression for Tannehill this year. And there was a good bit of randomness kind of baked into his fantastic 2019 season.
Nothing will change conceptually with this offense. So really what you're asking is, can they make as many big pass plays? Because they made a ton of big pass plays last year. A lot of them came on short passes with run after catch. A.J. Brown proved to be outstanding run after catch. I think those kinds of plays will be there. The question is, are you going to get those explosive plays? You can't answer that with certainty, but they're creating it. They've created an offense in which the defense has to play a certain way, and they know how the defense will play.